ladies, instead of being jealous, like if you see somebody that's doing something you want to do or you aspire to do, instead of being jealous, be inspired. Hey, best friend.
Hey, best friend.
All right, guys, we're back for another episode. This episode is the green-eyed monster, jealousy, owning it and shifting it. Okay, let's get into it.
Cakes.
What's up?
Girl, I saw her on vacation pics and caught myself feeling away.
You know what? We all do it, best friend. The question is, what do we do next? I mean, like with social media, it's so easy to get into like comparison and, you know, going back and forth. So it's like, where do we go from here?
I just feel like, sometimes it's just emotions, you can just feel away. It might not be nothing, to it. It's just, you can find yourself feeling away, being a little emotional.
Seeing things on social media, I think in the moment,
right?
Sometimes it could make you feel away just because you seeing it, it's fresh, it's new. But I think once you sit down and like analyze the situation, it's like, okay, like I go on vacation too. So like, why am I obsessing over her vacation pictures like I don't go on vacation?
Right, I agree.
So I mean, sometimes it could be just like a quick hint of like kind of maybe jealousy, or you can feel emotional about something. Like for instance, a friend of mine called me like a few days after Valentine's Day, and she expressed to me that essentially on Valentine's Day she was kind of like down or whatever. And even though she gets gifts and she has things, in the heat of the moment with all the posting that we do on social media for Valentine's Day, showing off all our gifts and our dates, she just kind of let it get to her for a second until she had to check herself, and then it was like she snapped out of it.
Yeah, I agree. It could, like I said, it's just one of those things for like a quick moment. You could just be like, and then you should be over it. But I don't know. I don't really find myself being jealous or whatever, especially about certain things. I don't know. It's just me. Like I'm real nonchalant about a lot of things. So I just brush it off or something like that. But I can't it could hit you at that little second and then, it's gone.
Do you think there's a difference between jealousy and envy, or is like jealousy and envy pretty much like the same thing? You would classify them as being the same thing?
I don't know. It's like a gray area, because I feel like with jealousy, somebody could just be jealous at that moment. Oh my gosh, she's getting attention.
Right.
And, I kind of wish I had that same attention, given to me. But I feel like with envy,
it's more like deep-rooted.
You hate me. You know what I'm saying? You hate me.
You feel like envy is more deep-rooted.
Yeah, you don't have my best interest at heart at all. Somebody could just have a jealous moment.
Right.
You see something and you're like, oh, I would have liked that too.
Because we're human.
Right.
Yeah.
I would have liked that too. Or I like that. That's nice. I love that.
Right.
But envy, I feel like you don't have my best interest at heart. You can probably harm me, or, do something to me or something in that range, or put me in a bad situation.
Right. So you feel like jealousy is more so based off of like
emotion.
Yeah, it's
even both of them are emotions. I just feel like, jealousy is just a little, it ain't that deep. Sometimes you can literally find yourself just jealous of a little something, like you just said, like your friend seen other people getting gifts and maybe she didn't receive any gifts at that moment.
Right.
And she just felt the level of like, well, I ain't getting nothing. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But it wasn't like envy, like I hate these girls and I want to do something to them or something like that. I feel like envy is more so deeper and could be dangerous.
I just feel like social media is kind of like a magnifier. Like it magnifies our emotions, like it makes them bigger, because you just got to think about it. We put a lot of things on social media, and of course we're always going to put our best moments, our best everything on social media. We're never going to put like our downtime. So people are like living and seeing our life basically on like a highlight reel. We on like a high on social media. Everything is good. Everything glitters. Everything is gold. Everything is, like we say, it's a fairyland. Everything is perfect there.
Very so.
And I think people tend to forget that, or they lose sight of that. These are the only things you're being privy to, if that makes sense, because it's like a highlight of our life, all our best moments on there. So we're only showing you all the good things on there. So I think it's easy for people to kind of get a bit jealous, but I think when they get jealous, especially when it comes to social media, they need to step back and realize, like what I just said, this is a highlight reel of my life. I'm only putting my good moments on here. You're not seeing my bad moments. You're not seeing my rough patches. You're only seeing me at my best. So, of course, when you're seeing me at my best, everything is going to look good.
I agree with that. That's why I said I feel like people shouldn't take social media to the heart because, like I said, it is a fairy world. And like I said, sometimes it could hit you at that moment. Somebody could have made a post. One of your friends could say, oh, you know, these are my girls, and don't tag you or something. And then you could probably like, oh, wait, you know, but I find myself as like, maybe I really overdid that, or, you know, you just got to put social media down sometimes. I think it can cloud your mind. It can cloud your vision. So I feel like take a break. Take a break from social media.
You think it's good to take breaks?
Definitely, for sure.
Come up from air, be out in the real world.
Yes.
Yeah, do real world things, live real world. Yeah. Okay. I think the access that we have to strangers on social media is weird. And that is a big reason, or a big part of the reason why it's a lot of jealousy and envy floating around, because you got to think a lot of these people that we're friends with on social media we're not actually friends with in real life. So we don't have access to these people outside of the social media space. And so we wouldn't know what goes on in their lives. We wouldn't know what kind of cars they drive, what kind of houses they live in, what kind of clothes they wear. But I think social media magnifies that because it gives us access to them, and an overload of access to them, because like we say, people post everything.
Right.
And of course, they're only posting their most treasured moments and times.
And you got to think, they can be at the Bentley with Air House or shop, post a Bentley and get in their Honda Civic or something. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's like, that's why I can't take it serious, because I've seen people, you know, post bags and it wasn't probably their bag, or, you know, post their friend's picture from out of town or something like that and saying it's theirs. So it's like, you have to know like the reality versus the fair world of social media. Yes, social media is a big part of our lives because it came in as a whirlwind and just took over. But you also got to know that it's still a reality out here.
Yeah. I think it causes us to get caught up in comparison, because when we see all these things online, we see the cars and we see the houses and the jewelry. It's like, oh, I want that stuff too.
Right. I found myself in that way
so
before.
then we start trying to compare or, you know, achieve certain things that we necessarily might not even really want.
Right.
But we're seeing other people with it, and so it's causing us to want things, and basically for the wrong reasons, only because we're seeing other people with them.
I've been in that spot before. Like, I've seen people just like doing things, and I'll go to be down and on myself, like, oh, I'm not doing enough. I need to put more gas to it or whatever. And then one time when I just took a step back, and I was getting out of a relationship, and I was looking at all this stuff on social media, and I was just getting more and more depressed. And I was just like, you know what? Let me put the phones down. Let me put the social media down, and let me get into myself. And let me live in a different way. And that's when I started to live in gratitude. Once I started to live in gratitude, I realized that, oh my gosh, I got a lot of this stuff.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, I'm just not noticing it because every time I get the things that I've wanted, I want more.
Right.
And I don't get a chance to appreciate the things that God has blessed me with in the now.
Right.
So now I live in a point of like, I'm just grateful, you know? And so nothing now that I see on social media moves me for real.
Right.
Because I know I can reach it, or most of the things like I don't, you know, care for all the cars. You can only drive one car.
Thank you.
You know, so it's like I came into a more so reality again, but I had to heal, had to
take time with yourself. Yeah. So social media has affected your mindset in a way where you kind of was feeling like you weren't doing enough because you was comparing your life to people's lives you see on the internet. And so you comparing, you like, oh, they got this, they got that. Oh, well, maybe I'm not doing enough. And when in reality, you were doing enough. You were doing more than enough. But because you were comparing your lives to them and matching it up, it
wasn't coming fast enough or something like that.
Yeah, you felt like it wasn't coming fast enough. Yeah. I think a lot of people get caught up in that.
I agree.
The comparison.
Even with having kids, being married, you know what I mean? Like, so many people look at others, and even if somebody would have got married at 25 or got proposed to, you know, they're like, well, I haven't gotten proposed to, or why I'm not married yet.
Right.
And it's just not your time. And I feel like once you accept the gratitude into your life, I really believe everything will fall in place, because ever since I've lived in gratitude, my life has gotten 100 times better. And I mean like 100 times better. Like, I'm happy. I wake up happy. I go to sleep happy because I know that I got lights, I got water, I got a reliable car to drive, I have a job, you know, I have good friends, you know, I have a good man, you know, I have a baby on the way, I got families that's supportive, you know, so it's like you have to think of those things and then look at the materialistic things that's also have you been blessed with. So if you just walking around, you're kind of ungrateful, you're kind of, you know, not realizing the things that's in front of you, you will very much so be depressed. Very. It's a very depressing moment when you're looking on social media and all these girls or all these people just living this a fairy lifestyle. So, Kate, do you think women are more prone to jealousy than men, or is that just a stereotype?
Realistically speaking, I think it's a stereotype. I think men are just as jealous as women.
And competitive, for sure.
And definitely more competitive than women. I think men are definitely very competitive. But when it comes to jealousy, I know guys that could be real jealous. Like, I think the difference is men don't let their jealousy, they know how to mask it a little better than women do.
I don't know.
You don't think they I think they mask it. They know how to mask it a little.
It comes through their pores. Like, you know what I mean? I really feel like it just like, because if you look, like I've seen on Instagram nowadays with like guys in cars and stuff, you know, in our community, they're big on like the candy paints and the rims and stuff like that. So you see the guys that you can see their jealousy peeking out with the guys that's probably, you know, up in the chart, or they're getting more recognition. You can see the other guys having some type of envy or, you know, kind of jealous spirit. So, because they'll stop wanting to come around, they'll start, you know, bad mouthing the other guys, but which they can all get in there and hang out and be cool and stuff. But it's just like, you ain't do this first. You know?
Everybody want to be first. If you ain't first, you're last.
Exactly. Or be the top person, the top dog in it. And it's like, it's room for everybody. So I feel like men, and it can become dangerous with men because they can take it to higher heights of their, you know, madness or jealousy. So I feel like it is a stereotype. I feel like men can be more jealous and it shows versus women. Women can mask things like, because they can hang out with you and you won't even know they're jealous of you.
That's true.
You know what I mean? You'll just be vibing with them good. They coming around your family. You know, they're kicking it with you and your man. And all along, she hates you. You know what I mean? Or she just really like, ugh, you know,
Yeah.
that's why I said with men they can't do that. They're not gonna come around. You gonna know.
So you don't think men mask it well? You think men
No,
are more like upfront and out
for
about their
sure,
jealousy,
for sure.
whereas women we could mask it better than men.
Yeah, because some women you won't even know until they get called out on their stuff.
Right.
You got to see something, a flaw in them,
Right.
and then be like, "Hey, girl, you been acting a little way or whatever." Then they'll be like, "Oh, I got caught." You know what I mean? Now it's like she either gonna address it or get distant.
Right.
So
Okay. All right. So what's your jealousy trigger? Is it career? Is it relationships? Is it body? Like what's one of the things that can trigger jealousy in you? Or if not any.
yeah, I don't feel like I'm a jealous person like at all. Like I don't see myself as being a jealous person at all. Like I like people and I like to see them happy, and I like what's for them is for them. I know that deep down in my heart, nobody can never change that. So it's like what's for you is for you. It ain't for me, you know. Because some things you might have, I don't even want, you know.
Right.
So and career wise, I feel like God put me on a path for me to have my own career and for somebody to have their own career, what you might not, what you like, I might not like.
Right.
Some people are doctors, dentists. I don't want to do that. I don't like blood, you know?
Yeah.
So it's like, I'm not jealous of their career. And far as body, I just think that, no, like, if I see somebody with a nice body, dang, she look good. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I'm more, like, I give more compliments than I am to take it in and say, like, oh, I wish I looked like that. Or, oh, dang, why she gotta look like that and I don't? You know, I'm really not like that. I just like to celebrate people no matter what wave it is, you know? So, Kate, have you ever unfollowed someone because their content made you feel bad about yourself?
Oh, I've never followed anybody. I've unfollowed people, but not because their content made me feel bad about myself. I might have unfollowed somebody because their content was negative, and I'm a person where I don't like to see negativity on my timeline. So if I get on my news feed and you always talking about somebody, you always in some drama, you always arguing with somebody, or you know just doing things that are not positive, I might unfollow you and take you off my page because I don't want to consume that. You know, I don't want to get on because, you know, literally when we wake up in the morning, social media is the first thing we jump on. We get our phones off the charger. We can be strolling for hours as soon as we wake up in the morning. So if you're my friend on social media and every day you're posting negativity, you arguing with somebody, you mad, you angry at the world, and it's coming down my news feed, and I know I jump on my timeline every morning when I get up, I'm probably gonna unfollow you because I don't want to start my day like that. Like that's not one of the things I want to see. So I may take you off for that reason, but I've never unfollowed somebody because the content made me feel personally like bad about myself.
Yeah, I agree.
All right, let's talk about like the celebration blockers. You know, you got those friends or so-called friends that that they're never happy for you. The friends who can't celebrate your wins, like it doesn't matter how good you're doing in life, it doesn't matter what you've accomplished, what you've achieved, they can't give you your props. They can't call you and say, girl, you know, you doing that. Like,
I'm proud of you.
I'm proud of you. I'm so happy for you. Like,
I weed them out because I can always tell, you know what I mean? I feel like it's visible. It shows on their face or the conversations you may have on the phone. You know what I mean? It just comes off as, you know what I mean? Like just and it's like, I'm not that type of person. Like I'm loudly clapping.
Right.
Like I'm gonna be.
You
probably
gonna know
more,
I'm happy for you.
Yeah, I'm probably gonna be more happy than you are for your own self because I just feel like if you're my friend or even anybody, if I hear some good news from anyone, I'm super excited for them. I'm so happy and ecstatic that like it just makes my day.
Right.
So I feel like with a friendship and people not celebrating you, I don't care if it's a small win or it's a big win. Like if I'm telling you, you should be able to clap for me and be very much so supportive.
Right.
You should be like happy, all in one, like celebrating me. Even like I said, down to this podcast, you know.
Right.
people should be, the people that you know
Right.
should definitely be on a support train. Like,
Right.
yes, my girls are doing something, and yes, I'm gonna go and support them in any shape or form. It shouldn't be, I have to make it to a certain level for you to celebrate me, because now it seems fake.
Yeah.
And I'm big on that.
Yeah.
Because you're not going to be around. Like, you're not going to be around in those moments that I'm really celebrating. So you have to celebrate the small wins and the big wins, because it's a part of growth.
Right. I think we don't realize sometimes a lot too that the celebration blockers that affects us.
Of course.
Yeah, like
because that can make me feel bad.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
oh, my friend not supporting
you doing
me.
something, you think it's already hard enough to get out there and do something, but to get out there and do something and not have the support or not be celebrated by your friends for at least like putting your foot forward and trying.
Yes.
That could be hurtful. I can see that being very hurtful and draining.
Very.
Like, you feel me? If your friends don't celebrate you, who gonna celebrate you?
That's what I'm saying. Those are the people that's supposed to be in your corner, that speak up for you when you're not in those rooms and can't talk for yourself. So it's like, when you think about, okay, you could just tell me, oh, I just started a new TV show. I
Right.
should be reposting without you even asking me. I should be able to say, hey, let me come on set. I'm gonna be taking pictures of you. I'm gonna be filming you while you on set, because I want to get some content for you.
Right.
For I can help you with this or something like that. It should be, your friends should be coming up with ideas to help you achieve some goals if they have the time to.
Right.
Or even if it's just simple support, just
a like, a comment, a subscribe, a
exactly,
reshare. Share it with your friends, because I'm not friends with everybody you friends with.
Right.
So just a simple repost is a way you can celebrate your friend.
course.
Or, just sharing it across platforms. I think when we say celebrate, I think people think like we got to go out and do something big, like we got to throw a party, or we got to do it. It's small things. It's small ways you can celebrate your friends.
Of course.
That don't cost money, that
and
are
you
not
should
monetary.
Want to. You should want to. That should be something in your core to say, you know what? Like, this my girl. I want to see her on top, because, like I said, if I'm on top, where you gonna be at? On
Next
top.
to me.
Next to me on top.
Yeah.
So it's like, if I've done got this on top, by myself, or without your help, or without your support, you don't need to give me no money. It's just about support. So if you don't been and gave me your support, why would I want you around me in the winning times, for real? Like, when I'm really higher up.
Because now I don't need your celebration. I don't need you to support me. I
Exactly.
don't need you to celebrate
I don't
me.
reach those milestones that the support is minimal. Like,
Because it could have been a point in the journey where I was tired or I was weary, and that little support that you gave me kept me going through the journey.
Even if it could be just a call to say, hey, you should talk about this next. You know what I mean? Any engagement, or, but it still should be, your support should be shown loudly.
Right.
It shouldn't have to be privately, especially if you're my friend. So, Case,
Yes.
tell me about a time when someone rained on your parade.
Someone rained on my parade. Like, I called them and shared some good news
and they just
with them,
was
and they was like
dry. Or they brought a scenario up to like just dummy down your situation or your happiness.
Right. That's hard. You know why that's hard? Because I've kept the same friend group for so long. I've had the same people around me for so long that I don't have that problem in my friendships now. And so I would have to go back years. Like, most of the friendships I've been in are 10 plus years in. So I don't really have that problem where when I call somebody, they're not happy for me or they rain on my parade. But you know what is the thing? I will say, if I call you and I tell you something or share some good news with you, and then you automatically jump in and take over the conversation like, oh yeah, because I got this, or you instantly jump in with something that you've done and take over the conversation when I'm trying to tell you about my good news. Like, I call you to tell you something good, and you take over the conversation telling me something about you good. It's like, girl, this is my moment. I'm calling you to tell you. If you wanted to call me and tell me about your good news, you should have called me first.
Exactly. I agree.
Yeah. So, I mean, I don't think nobody's ever rained on my parade, like when I've told them something, especially not as of late. Like I said, because all my friendships now are vetted. We locked in. Okay. So I don't have that issue. But when your friends call you to share good news, don't you jump in and try to share your news. If you want to share your news, you call them separately.
I agree.
At another time and tell me your good news. I don't want to hear. I'm calling to share my good news. It's not that I don't want to hear your good news. I'm happy for you too, but not in this moment that I'm calling to share my news. Like pick another time, babe.
Just chill.
Read the room. I'm calling.
Definitely read the room. I'm big on reading the room. Like it's a big thing with me. I feel like people don't read the room, and they will take over a conversation. Or I don't really kind of like people that every experience they done had it too. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Like, or everything like, oh, me too. It's like a me too or something. I really, that could be irritating to me, but hey.
Okay. How much grace do you give a friend who can't celebrate you?
I don't give you grace. You know how I am. Like, I'm already like on 10 and it's like, oh, you don't want to celebrate. Oh, you don't want to support, or you don't want.
Hit the road.
I'm gonna get distant. I'm gonna just know because I'm gonna feel like you don't have my best interest at heart, and I hate that feeling, and I hate to have to cut people off, or I hate to feel like I'm just being a Grinch.
And I don't want to not have to share with you for the simple reason that I don't think you happy for me, or I don't think you gonna clap for me, or you gonna be excited for me. So eventually I'm gonna stop sharing with you because it's lackluster moment when I get on the phone and I'm sharing my good news. I'm like, girl, guess what? I did this, I did that. And you like, oh, for real? Oh, okay.
You won't get me again. You know what I mean? You won't get me again. Believe that. You won't get that moment again. But I just, like I said, I feel like I'm not giving you grace. I'm sorry. I don't like that. I really, really don't like it. I don't care. I don't like it because I feel like if you don't have my back, who is gonna have my back? You know what I mean? And I should be able to, not just in a bad moment, in all moments, you should be able to be there to support me.
Right.
So good, bad, ugly, sad, happy. You should be there. Kate, have you ever been the one struggling to celebrate someone else?
You know what? I've never struggled to celebrate my friends. Let me just throw that out there, clear that up. But I will say it's this one thing that I don't struggle to celebrate, but I have to remove myself from it's a time of year every year. For those of you who don't know, I lost my mom a while back. So Mother's Day is a big thing for me. I know you gonna go out and celebrate your mom. I want you to go out and celebrate your mom, but every Mother's Day, I'm not gonna be able to call you and be like, or I might not be able to call your mom and be like, oh, happy Mother's Day. Because it's hard. Right. That's all I'm gonna say about it. It's hard.
Definitely. And I definitely understand that because like I said, that is a tough moment. Losing your mom, I just can't even imagine it. And like I said, over the years, I've watched you be extremely strong, stronger than I ever could imagine a person being.
Right.
So for me to expect certain things around that time, I don't. Even around your mom's birthday, I'm still, gonna be supportive and, talk to you, be there, but I'm never gonna throw anything in your face to be like, oh, well, this going on. I'm gonna definitely want to be more open about listening to what you have going on, or just chatting on the phone regular, you know what I mean? But for sure, it's not a big thing for me if you don't call and tell my parent happy Mother's Day or something
some Mother's Day, I could be fine. I could be hey, okay, I'm outside with it, I'm cool, but every day, every Mother's Day is different. You just never know what you're going to get from me. And I work on it. I try to work on it, but that's one thing, I'm not going to be very celebratory on that day.
Right.
And I love that. I always tell my friends, I love that they go out with their mom. I always tell all my friends, like, love on your mom and celebrate your mom while you're here. You only get one mom. So, like, love them and do them right while they're here.
I'm big on that. I'm big on that because, like I said, I've been there from a lot of years. And so I ain't never going to disrespect my mom. I'm never going to, like, talk down on her, talk down to her. Like nothing. I know that it's very much so you only get one mom. And so no matter what your mom done in the past, no matter, whatever it is, it's just love your mom and appreciate her because she's getting older and you're getting older as well. And so it should just be like a level of understanding coming from you. I don't need
a certain level of grace.
Grace for sure.
Definitely associated with like moms. So yeah. Other than that, I always celebrate my friends. I'm the loudest one in the room when it comes to celebrating my friends. I'm gonna make sure I'm happy for you.
Definitely, I got my pom poms, my cheer. Listen, my cheer skirt, and I'm like literally like I'm too happy like because why not?
Yeah.
Why am I your friend if I can't celebrate you?
Right. All right, best friend. What's the difference between someone having a bad day versus a pattern?
A bad day is like a one-off.
Yeah.
But a pattern is like, you're telling me about the same...
You doing the same thing over and over.
You doing the same thing over and over, or you telling me about the same thing over and over. And it's like, is you going to get it together, or are you going to keep being stagnant in that same spot? For me, I feel like you should be able to identify that this is a pattern for that you're causing.
For your friend.
For
like
your friend.
Every time I call you and you never clapping for me, like that's a pattern.
Right.
But like a one-off, like a bad day is, okay, you may be having a bad day today and I call you with some good news and you can't necessarily celebrate because you might be going through something in the moment that's causing you to be off that day.
But that should be at least said. Like, I feel like in the beginning of the call, hey girl, I'm having a bad day. You know what I mean? I'm going to call you later. Before the words can even get out of whatever's being celebrated or anything like that.
Yeah, because I mean, people have bad days.
For sure.
So, I mean, I'm not going to disown or be mad with my friend because they're having a bad day and they can't celebrate me for one day. But like, if every time I call you and I tell you some good news
and you change the subject
it's
or
the
something.
Same lackluster, it's the same, oh, okay. It's never no celebratory anything, then that's a pattern and I'm going to have to move around. Like, I'm going to have to address you. I'm going to let you know why. And then, or sometimes it's good to sometimes you don't even have to tell these people. A lot of the times, these people already know what they be doing. We grown adults. We grown adults. Every time I call you with some good news, you ain't.
I don't like to have hard conversations. I'm not going to lie. Like, I'm not a person that wants to... I always feel like people know. You know what I mean? Or you're supposed to know, or you should know. Even though that could be wrong.
Right. That's not always the case.
Right.
But
I just feel that way. So I feel like I shouldn't have to tell you to celebrate me, or I shouldn't have to, tell you certain things.
I think it needs to be said at least one time.
Right.
Like, because some people just don't know. Like, yeah, you should know, but some people just don't know. So I think at least one time it needs to be said that you, like, when I call you with my good news, you don't never celebrate me. Like, what's up with that?
I think that makes me vulnerable.
After that, moving forward, then it's like, okay, we already had that conversation. I'm not finna go back there again. Like, we talked about it. You still not celebrating me. I'm gonna just move around. That's an uncomfortable conversation.
Yeah, it's an uncomfortable conversation for me. So I'll just probably like get distant. Like, I definitely will just like get distant.
But that's not good.
I know it's not. Because it's not saying that like everybody is replaceable or can be replaced.
Right.
I just literally would just distance myself, and I would just, some people you can't have those conversations with, but I don't be wanting to have that back and forth. Some people will try to make you have a back and forth with them and like bring up, oh, I remember, I was trying to tell you about something and you just... one time, you know what I mean? So it's just like, that just upsets me. Like, I don't know. So I'm not good with having those type of conversations for real. I just will like,
Best friend, we got to work on that.
yeah, I
We
do.
got to work on
I work on
having
that.
tough conversations, because in this world, you're going to have some tough conversations.
I get that. I do get that.
All right. The validation hustle. Let's talk about that. So how do you feel about people like changing themselves for likes? Like you changing yourselves to appeal to the masses so that people will like you?
I don't like that. I think you should always be yourself.
Always authentic
I feel
to
like,
your core. Always
yes, me too. I feel like because they're gonna like you for who you are. Like you don't
Right.
have to never pretend to be something else or do things out of your character. Because when you do stuff out of your character, there'll be somebody that really know you be like, she did what? That's
and
not
then
her.
I feel like when you're doing stuff for likes, you're constantly like changing to all these different people.
Being
And
a
it's
people
like
pleaser.
all over the place. And that
You
can-
can't please everybody. That's what I'm saying. You've
yeah.
been a big people's pleaser, and you can't please everyone. So
Yeah.
you have to I'm who I am. If I don't like it, I'm gonna say I don't like it. If I do, I'm gonna say I love it. So
Right.
it's like I just always gotta stay true to myself, because 9 out of 10 I probably don't care, and it's like, yeah, I definitely gotta be who I am at all times. It makes me feel better.
Yeah, I think a lot of people now, especially on social media, we degrade ourselves for like visibility.
Mm-hmm.
We do stuff that's way out of the norm, way out of what we would usually do to get likes. Like we'll degrade ourselves on social media just to get some likes. Like the things that I see women go and do now on social media just for like clout or for visibility to get tons of likes or followers. How you feel about that? Is there?
I remember a time like when I was like younger, just like probably like posting like provocative things or whatever, sexy photos or
thirst traps.
Yeah, I wasn't thinking of it as thirst traps back then, but
Right.
as I get older, I realized that it is a thirst trap. You're in your bikini, or I'm not bikini, but like your bikini bottoms or something like that. Like your underwear, not
Right.
just a bathing suit,
Right.
but your underwear or bra or whatever, and you're posting in the mirror and stuff like that. I feel like that
Degrading
is
yourself for
a
visibility.
bit degrading, because you're letting the world see that, because it's you probably have your page open,
Right.
so everyone can see that.
Everyone
and you can't
has access to
right,
that,
and you can't take that back.
You
So
can't take that off the
right.
media.
Once it's there,
Yeah.
it's there. No matter if you delete the picture or not, it's still there. So it's like I grew to know that I don't want people to see me in that light, or
And not all visibility is good visibility. Like
yes, because you can create stalkers, you can create a lot of different things, and I've been to those spots of like, oh my gosh, I got some sort of stalker or something,
Right.
like they're harassing me and this and that, because that's what I put out there, kind of like.
Right.
Even though I wasn't looking for that type of reaction, I still got some sort of reaction I was kind
Right,
of looking for,
right.
or whatever, the attention or something. So I feel like the attention part of things is the bigger problem.
Right. And then I think once we're doing stuff so much for likes and visibility, we become unrecognizable even to ourselves.
Yes.
Like we lose ourselves
I
when we're
agree.
doing so many things for clickbait or for likes or to get more followers, to get more views. I think we lose a part of ourselves every time we get on there and degrade ourselves or do things for that nature. And then it's like, is it really, in the end, is it really worth it? What
No.
you're gaining from it, is it really worth you degrading yourself or changing yourself? Or
Because once you change, like say for instance, you don't post that type of content anymore. I don't post that. Like I don't
Right.
post pictures in my underwear anymore, or post like me in a
Right.
different light.
Right.
Those likes are gonna go down, because they
Yes.
originally came for to see some skin. Like
yeah,
you know what I
and
mean?
now that you're
They-
not providing that to
Right.
your audience, they like, what's this?
Yeah.
Like, you go to church now?
Yeah,
girl? You
what's
over there?
up? Like what time
We
what time
can't.
exactly what time the real show come on, you know what I mean? So I feel like you have to really watch what you put out, because it could become negative. Even if you didn't see that at the moment, I feel like with growth in time, it comes and maturity comes. So I feel like you can't catch me doing certain things on social media like that anymore. And I feel like that was the only thing that I probably feel like I would do, and I could see it as attention seeking now that I'm older.
Right.
That it was attention seeking, because why would I do that?
Right.
But it's people on like social media that will, every day they just doing stuff for just to get clicks and stuff. I look at them really weird. Like
Right.
it could be very much so weird.
So do you think that came with like your spiritual perspective? Like now that you're more like spiritually in tune with yourself as like a grown woman, you kind of saw that as like negativity, and it could have been like blocking your blessings, or it could have been shifting your energy, or, posting those kind of things, because then, like you said, it brings you a certain type of follower. So they're there to see that kind of thing on your page. So now you interacting with people that are coming to see that type of thing. So,
I feel like it definitely came with growth, but I feel like it's just like more so immaturity. And like I said, I put the phone down and I just got more in tune with myself. I feel like a lot of people should do that. Like even with stopping relationships, like if you just got out of a relationship, I feel like you give yourself some grace and time to understand what's going on in life with you, because life goes by so fast that we just be picking up and going, and keeping going. And it's like you never stop and say, why did this go wrong? Or what really happened in my last relationship? It might have wasn't you, but
Right.
you can still self-reflect and know that maybe some things I could change in my
Right.
next relationship. Or, I just want to get in tune with me. Like it's some things I want to fix with just me. It don't have nothing to do with a friend or a boyfriend or anything like that. It's just I need to have some downtime with just me. I need to self-reflect. I need to, tell myself that I'm beautiful in the mirror, or, affirmations of positivity. We need that validation from ourselves, not just from others.
Right.
So I feel like I just grew up. And I understood my value and my worth.
Yes, that's a big thing. Once you understand your value and worth, you'll never sell yourself short again.
Of course.
You will never sell yourself short again. Have you ever caught yourself doing something on the gram that wasn't you? Well, we already know you said posting like basically sexually explicit kind of like pictures or whatever. That was like something that was like a Instagram fade. It was like a wave at one point where all the
it
girls
was definitely a wave. I can
wanted to
agree.
be like naked on the internet. Every girl wanted to be sexy on the internet.
Yeah, I feel like more so sexy, or like just, I don't know. I really couldn't tell you, because it wasn't, like I said, I don't feel like it was, I was getting attention off without doing that. So I don't even understand what kind of attention was I really looking for or something.
It was a different kind of attention, because like now it's attention that everybody can also see as well, because it's on a platform.
Right.
You feel me? Although you get compliments and stuff like that in the real world, nobody sees that kind of stuff. So I think it was just magnified by it
and
being
it can
on.
comment or like, and you can actually see it more so, or others can see it.
Others can see it.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
I think that you got something there. You might be onto something.
Yeah, others can see it. So it's like, yeah, girl, you see them like,
you see, you see they checking.
That's more so what I think it was.
So, Kate,
Yes.
when have you changed your goals because of what you saw someone else doing?
You know what? I actually have some good people that I follow on social media. And so I will say that some women have made me step up my goals or step up my dreams, like to things that I might have not initially think I could achieve or I could do. And then I see all these women out here just like me achieving those things or doing those things. I'm going back to the drawing board. I'm getting back in my journal. I'm getting back on my vision board. And I'm readjusting, because it's like, okay, maybe I can do that. Oh, no, I can do that.
Right.
So now I'm going to do that. So I will say, when you have inspirational women on your timeline, women who really out here in they bag chasing, hustling, go getting, they not stopping, they really standing on business, it'll make you get in your bag.
Of course.
So,
or even if just seeing women trying, where they used to be at, and you see that growth in them. Like it's some women that they was like just outside or whatever, just never, you know what I mean? Just doing good for themselves for real. Like they was doing bad things to like, be noticed. And then you see them change and they on a good path. Like that's inspirational right there. Like I like that. And it could cause me to be like, you know what? I need to try a little harder too. Like, I like that.
I can go a little harder.
I can go a little harder. Yeah.
I got a little more in me.
Yeah, definitely for sure.
Yeah. Okay, so I already know the answer to this question, but do you believe jealousy can block your blessings?
All the time. You can't win with that jealous heart. I don't care who tell the story.
Talk to the camera, best friend. They really need to understand. You need to drive this point home, because I think if more people understood how they weren't getting to the levels that they aspire to be only because of this one thing, and that one thing is the green-eyed monster, jealousy.
Yes,
I think they would switch it up.
Literally, that will block every blessing you will even think of. Like, it just stops everything. Like, you'll be depressed, you'll be miserable, you just will be a negative person just because you're jealous of someone. Like I said, you can have jealous moments like, oh, that's nice or whatever, or I like that. But it also has to be in a sense of like, I can do it too. You know what I mean? Like I don't just see it for her and just hate that for her. Right. I can do it too. Or I'm inspired by it.
Yes, be inspired. Why we gotta be jealous? Why can't we be inspired? That's a new thing. Yeah, we ladies, instead of being jealous, like if you see somebody that's doing something you want to do or you aspire to do, instead of being jealous, be inspired. Make that be your motivation to get in your bag and start rearranging the way you move and the way you do things. And you can also do those things. You don't have to be jealous of a person because they're doing something. You have the same 24 hours in a day that person has. You might not have the same resources, but with the internet now, you can Google just about anything. You can YouTube anything, TikTok, everything is all over the web. So it's literally, in this day and age, it's no excuse for you to be jealous of anyone because you have the same amount of time in a day and you have the same resources, essentially. You can get on the web and Google. You can get on YouTube and watch videos. It's tons of resources out there. So jealousy should be obsolete. Like we got to really move past that and start.
And if you notice that is a key role is happening in your life, I feel like that should be your shutdown moments. Those should be your shutdown moments for me to put the internet down and get to me, like, validate myself, like, or yourself. Like you shouldn't never want to hold that jealousy at heart because it won't get you anywhere. It'll just get you in a stagnant space.
Right.
So, Case.
Yes, ma'am.
What's something you stopped doing because you realized it wasn't authentic to you?
I stopped posting for the internet. Like the things that I do now, like before, I used to just like post everything, like all my movements, all my trips, all my everything was on the internet. Your food, what you eat, and what restaurants. Because I be gone. I be in the wind. So
I
now
call you on FaceTime and you just like, oh, I'm over here in Thailand or something. I'm like, what?
Yeah. So
you didn't even let the gram know.
So yeah, I think now I pick and choose what I share and what I post on the internet. I think before it was like a pressure, like, oh, like, you need to post this, you outside, you doing this, you got to let people know you be out, like, outside like that. And it's like, I don't really care if you know where I'm at now. Like,
and that can create, people just want to be a friend just because they see what you got going on. Right. So that's why I feel like I definitely became more selective. Like, I be doing a lot of stuff, but I definitely don't want to post it or, like, because if they see it, then now they like, oh, I want to be her friend because she's doing this and doing that. I need authentic friends around me, so I don't care what the outsiders know about me and what they know that I'm doing.
Or you know what, too? I think, like, I like to post it for the simple fact that I'm thinking that I might be inspiring someone to want to go travel and see the world and live their life. Like coming from where we come from, our neighborhood, a lot of people don't get out of it outside of our neighborhood and travel and like see the world. I'm blessed where I'm able to pick up at the drop of a dime. Like I could be here today, tomorrow I can be in Africa, like the snap of my fingers. So I have that luxury. I'm blessed with that luxury. A lot of people are not blessed with that luxury. So I post with the intent that it's going to be motivational and it'll inspire other people to do things. Like people are always watching, like for instance, like I'm so proud, but my nephew called me this past week and he like, Auntie, I need to come stay by your house for a few days, me and my girlfriend. And I'm like, what y'all coming to Houston for? And he like, oh, we need to get in position for our flight. We need you to take us to the airport in like 2 days. We going to Tokyo. I'm like, y'all going to Tokyo? And this is like my nephew, but of course, I mean, I shouldn't be surprised because they're watching me.
Right.
They see me do this all the time, but it's like, it's a different feeling.
It was a proud moment.
It
definitely was a proud moment.
Yeah.
And I'm proud of it. I'm like, yes, get over there, and like, enjoy life. And, that's why I said things that you do should be inspiring. But the internet has taken it to make it more so jealousy. Like, and it creates jealous people. And it's just like, oh, why she get to do that or this and that. And it should just be like, oh my gosh.
This is for motivational purposes only. I'm here to motivate and inspire only. I'm not doing this to make you feel away or to feel jealous. This is just regular life to me.
Certain things myself because I feel like people will take it as you bragging or something like that. I'm never bragging. I'm just living my own life. And I'll be minding my own business for real. So I don't even notice y'all, but they tend to take it as a brag.
Right. All right, best friends. So what advice can we give to our viewers? Like, what can they do? What kind of practices can they take to basically veer away from jealousy? How do we get out of that jealousy box and, elevate?
I feel like the first thing is to put the phone down.
Okay.
A lot of the times our phones is our distraction and our downfall to a lot. Even though we have our phones all the time, that's fine. But sometimes pick up your journal, write in your notepad or your journal, whatever is something to alleviate the extra time and energy.
Right.
Because
the thoughts.
So I feel like even with reading or something like that, like I myself got away from reading. I used to read all the time.
Me too. I was a big reader.
Yeah. And, get my mind off of certain things. But like now we'll get so clouded with social media and what others have going on. And I just feel like take that time for yourself. Put down the phone for a while, even if it's a couple of hours out the day. I'm not saying doing that all day long, but take a couple of hours for yourself and reflect. Right. And reflect and know, like, I got lights on. I got gas in my car. My light's not on in my car. The maintenance not needed.
Right.
You know what I mean? Certain things you just gotta, get back to your roots and understand that I'm blessed. Yeah. Like, I can feed myself. I got money in my pocket. I got money in the bank. Even if it's not a whole lot of money, it's just you have stuff to maintain life and to survive. And I feel like a lot of people became so ungrateful. And that's why certain things don't go right for them. They find themselves depressed. They find themselves mad and angry because they can see others doing it and they don't see like they're in the same space. So I feel like, ladies, gentlemen, put the phones down. Get in the mirror if you have to. And it could be your one-on-one time and you just write your affirmations down.
Daily affirmations. Get in that mirror. I promise you, if you get in that mirror and say them affirmations to yourself day in and day out, you going to start to believe that stuff that you're saying about yourself. The more you hear that and the more you looking in the mirror and you relating it to yourself, you going to start to believe those things. So.
And the tongue is powerful. Yes. You know what I mean? So your thoughts are powerful. Right. So once you're speaking that and saying like, oh yeah, I'm that girl.
I'm smart.
I'm smart. I'm beautiful.
I'm beautiful.
Like
I can do all things.
All things. And I can do, just anything that I put my mind to. Like, just because she has it,
Yeah.
that don't mean that I can't achieve those same things as well in a different manner. Because what's for her might be for her. But if I want those things, I should be able to motivate myself. I don't need validation from others to, make that point of focus for myself to say, like, I can't do it. I can do it. I can do whatever I put my mind to.
Right.
So I feel like definitely put the phones down, get into you, and to understand you. Even with guys, they can, you don't have to have that jealousy moment about anything, because if you already got this far, you can get farther.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So
True.
honestly, I just feel like self-reflection is a big key, and that was a big thing in my life, because I found myself being depressed at a moment and being down because I was seeing others' life just flourish in some spaces, and I just felt like I was stagnant.
Right.
But I was not understanding that, my moment was coming, and I had to be grateful before it came. I had to be able to accept that, you're doing great. You know what I mean? Like, before God just continued to bless me on.
Right. Okay, so y'all heard that the way we can shift that jealousy, envy, energy is to be grateful, live in gratitude, write in your journals, do celebration journals, redirect that envy. Don't be envious, be inspired. Those are ways we can get around and shift and elevate that jealousy and energy. Also, take assessment of your environment. You may be in an environment that garners jealousy and envy and hate. Evaluate your friend circles. Make sure the type of people that celebrate you and the type of people that are inspired and not envious. So yeah, just take an audit of your environments and the people that you're hanging around and spending time with. And that's how we move out of those jealous spaces. All right, friends, we're at that point in our segment where we are back to best friend mail. We asked, you guys delivered. So here is some best friend mail we got this week. I'm going to read it to you guys. It says, Dear V and Monique, my best friend since middle school and I are going through a rough patch, and I don't know how to fix it. We're both 34, but our lives have taken completely different paths. I landed a corporate job after college, got married, and just bought my first home. She struggled to find stable work, is living paycheck to paycheck, and just moved back in with her parents after a breakup. The problem is our friendship feels strained by our financial differences. When I suggest brunch, she can't afford it. When I talk about house renovations, I can see her shut down. She started making little comments like, must be nice, or when you're rich like you, I'm not rich at all. I'm just stable. Last week, she declined my birthday dinner invitation, saying she couldn't keep up with my lifestyle anymore. I love her like a sister and don't want money to ruin our 20-plus year friendship. Am I supposed to hide my life achievements? Should I always offer to pay? How do we navigate this financial gap without losing our connection? Sincerely, financially frustrated friend. Oh, I feel like so many people can relate to this. Okay, first, how do you navigate the financial gap without losing the connection? I would say not all the time, but some of the time you know, if you have it to spend, you can offer to, if you want to spend time with your friend, you can offer to, pay for it, expense it, but also too, there's other ways you can spend time with your friend without it being money related, monetary. So if you're doing something like, for instance, for your birthday, and your friend might not be financially able to do it for your birthday, you can consider, I don't advise this. I probably wouldn't advise changing my birthday plans to accommodate my friend's financial standpoint, but I can tell you for a fact, I'm not gonna leave my friend out. If I got the money to do the birthday, my friend is coming with me. I'm gonna just pay for my friend to do what I wanna do with my friend for my birthday.
Yeah, and I feel like I don't mind if I have to pay every time. I ain't gonna lie. If that's my good girl and I want her around, like I need her energy around, I'm paying for it every time. If I can, or even
if
I'm gonna try
have it to spend, it's
I'm gonna
hers.
spare. You know, I'm gonna even try to find it to spare. You know what I mean? So I feel like she's not gonna be left out, but it do become draining at some point if I'm just continuing to financially support our hangouts.
Yeah.
And especially if you're like dealing with guys. If you're dealing with guys, oh, that's gonna rub me off bad. Like it's gonna rub me wrong. And I'm gonna just, feel away. But if you're just like singling it out and you're just trying to do, you're trying.
I see you putting your best foot forward,
right.
But it's just not happening right now in this moment. We gonna thug it.
Right, and I'm gonna thug it with you, and I'm gonna support you, and I'm gonna be there to help you and guide you with what I can.
Right.
But like I said, and that's only, I'm not even gonna lie. If you got a man or something like that, I'm really, or you dating around and stuff, and it's just people not like even helping you or trying to help you, I'm gonna feel away if I gotta put myself to burden all the monetary hangouts. I'm not gonna lie.
Right. And then it says one of her questions was, is she supposed to hide her life achievements? I don't think you should hide your life achievements, but I do think once you've realized that your friend is not really like moving in that way, I think naturally for me, it would cause me to like stop sharing as much. Not because, it's because I don't want to rub it. I don't want to feel like I'm rubbing it in my friend's face that I'm at this point.
But then it also can divide, because now you're standing back or pushing back from what you're saying to your friend.
Right.
So I feel like it definitely could be a little shaky. I ain't gonna lie, it could be a little shaky with that. But I wouldn't leave her out. I would definitely try to help my friend as much as possible without it causing a strain on myself.
And then it could be to the point where maybe I can step in and offer for her to get money in another way. Like maybe I can help her look for a job or help her find employment or something along those lines, or, because it's definitely going to be a hard and tricky situation to navigate, but money is not going to be the reason why it's tricky and, it's hard to navigate. I think it's going to be more so you not being able to share with your friend, especially in your achievements, the way you want to. I think that's the part that you got to figure out how to move around.
Right. And like you said, I'll probably help you find a job or, help, like say like, oh yeah, this is going on, we can do this, and like literally kind of like hold your hand with it.
Right.
So it don't seem like you're in it by yourself. Right. I can agree with that.
All right, guys. So we're going to close up. We're going to wrap up this segment. Some of the key takeaways from this episode should be gratitude is the antidote. If you want to move away from jealousy, live in gratitude. Always be authentic to yourself. Authentic is the goal. You always want to be authentic to yourself. And then owning our emotions, like realizing that, sometimes we might be a little jealous and, owning that and moving forward, moving past that. All right, guys, before we get up out of here, we got a bone to pick with y'all, babes. Y'all not liking, commenting, and subscribing. So before you go today, we need you to like, comment, and subscribe. Share this. Send it out to your friends, your best friends, some people in your circle. Let them know that we over here giving the girls game all 2025 on friendship.
Yes.
All right. Okay, best friends. We'll see you next week. Same time, same place.
Bye, guys.